Good evening and welcome to another episode of Careers in Canada, the channel where we bring your professional opportunities and valuable insights about Canada. After 3 years of podcasting Portuguese, we've decided to make a change and now we also be featuring episodes in English. We're thrilled to kick off this new chapter with you. And now today, again, is a special day. We're having here with you Peter Hawkins. It's a pleasure. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you. Welcome to Careers in Canada, Peter.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine. I was really excited because I saw your post on LinkedIn, and I've been following you for a long time, obviously, and so I invited myself on, but you wrote to me at the exact same time. So I thought, isn't that wonderful? That's serendipity if I ever saw it.
Exactly, because I remember, I think I met you online or on TMPM, I think 3 years ago, right?
Yes,
when I was a mentee in the program. I was not even a mentor yet.
Yes, but now, of course, you're giving back, which I love. I think that should be everybody's goal. People always say to me, so, what do you want for pay? Now, don't get me wrong. There are lots of things I do for pay. Yeah. But for this, I think giving back. That's all there is to it. If I can help someone who can help someone else, perfect.
Yeah, that's the goal for sure. Okay, before we start, I have some message of our sponsors here. We are here in TFA Studios. For those who are looking for information about tourist visas, permanent residence in Canada, citizenship process, study in Canada, TFA is your go-to solution. TFA has been proud supporter of Careers in Canada since the very beginning. Follow them on social media, and don't forget, we have an exclusive 15% discount code for you. The links are in the description, and again, we don't talk about immigration in details, and they are the experts who are going to provide them much more helpful insights than us. And follow the next one is MB Tax Solutions. After year comes to the end and the fiscal year begins, our tip for you to file your taxes safely with MB Tax Solutions. If you need assistance with starting a business in Canada or any another accounting solution, they're here to help. Be sure to follow them on social media on mbtax_solutions and the website mbtaxsolutions.com. And we are incredibly proud to have Brazil Remittance as one of our sponsors. Brazil Remittance is a Brazilian company, has been in operation in Canada for over 32 years. It specializes in money transfers from Canada to Brazil. They offer highly competitive rates and warm personalized service in Portuguese, English, and Spanish. Be sure to follow them on social media, Brazil Remittance online on Instagram or in brazilremittance.com. And that was amazing for us because we have here Peter Hawkins for Hawkins Logistics. Is one of our sponsors. We're really proud to have them. And I think it's much better than I talk about Hawk to let Peter talk about it. Right?
Well, I'm delighted to talk about Hawk, but before I talk about Hawk, I'm going to talk about Terry and I'm going to talk about Angela Mesquita.
Sure.
I will tell you something. I love the fact that those are your sponsors along with MB Tax because I'm actually using Terry services right now that have been instrumental in helping us with some of our colleagues, and that's been wonderful with Ferreira, and with the Angela Mesquita, as you know, has supported everything ever since I came to Canada or to Toronto. Angela Mesquita's name was out there, and now her children have taken over the business and do a great job, and we use them all the time too. Secure, fast. I'm grateful to be part of that community. And now with Hawk. So Hawk Logistics, we've been around for 22 years, and it's been very exciting for us to not only be part of the community, but also grow our business. When Arno started the business, and I didn't want to, and so it's funny, I'm going to tell a little story about that. I was actually working in publishing, and I had a great job and kind of a glamorous job, and then I lost my job. And I was already 40 years old. I was already wondering what the next thing was going to be. And I was overpriced in a dying industry. And then Arno said, I want to start this company. And, I need you to help me start it. And I said, well, I can invest with you in it, but I hate the idea of moving boxes. Who wants to do that? And in the end, about 4 months after he went on and he said, look, I need help. And so I joined. I will tell you, it has been a joy. It's given us a wonderful life, a great opportunity to help people. So we do move boxes. We move commercial cargo. We move personal cargo. We move what's valuable to people. Okay. And so it's not just boxes ever. It is people's lives. It is their livelihoods. It's their businesses. And in addition to that, it's given us an opportunity to participate in the community because we do really everything we can to contribute and to help. And even when we weren't making any money, we were trying to do something. And, over time, you build a business and you provide employment, and it's really grown. So I am grateful to be part of this. I know that Mellowhawk Logistics is grateful to be part of this. And, hopefully that in the stories that we tell over this podcast, that you realize the value of our company, but also the value of what we can do beyond our company.
Perfect, really nice. For us, it's a pleasure to have them. People from Brazil or who understands Portuguese have the opportunity to see the podcast we did with Arno. Was also perfect. It was a pleasure to have them. So go there. I'm gonna put the link on the description as well. Unfortunately, it's in Portuguese. Maybe Arno can come back here so we can do another one in English. Would be awesome. Okay, last but certainly not least, simply the best burger I ever had. I'm not saying just because they are our partner, right? But We Burger is a Brazilian company, and it's getting tremendous space here in Canadian market. It's unbelievable. I remember the first time when I talked to Renato, I said, "Man, are you crazy? You're gonna do one burger to Canadians?" So it's the same there. Canadians go to Brazil, try to teach samba to them. So, but it's amazing. It's incredibly good. So they are make the difference for sure. So follow them. They are on the Winterfest and Harbourfront until the beginning of January, I believe so. And another pop-ups on the city. So follow them, weburger.ca. I'm pretty sure then try them, and then come back and put a comment, say, I told you, it's the best one for sure.
Well, yes, I could do that one too. I didn't know he was there. So, because I met him for the first time at a Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce cocktail and had a great chat with him, but a very nice product. So isn't that exciting?
Yeah, he's nice. Very disruptive, right? So he's incredible, and how he playing everything. So it's good. Yes. We have a good team here.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay, so no more message for our sponsor. So let's talk because we have lots of things to talk.
Sure.
Peter, talk to how was the beginning of your career?
So I am from New Brunswick, and that's in Canada's East Coast, and it's a lovely, quiet place where, in fact, everybody looks like me. And it's funny because it is a fundamentalist evangelical town that I'm from, and I'm related to everybody. So when you would say, "Hey, Hawkins," everybody looked because we all had the same name. And my grandmother, paid for a bunch of churches to be made, and so it was a very different world. And I know that a lot of Brazilians can certainly identify with the experience I had growing up. But ultimately, of course, you need to grow up and get away for many different reasons, and we can happily talk about those if you want to. And so I went away to university, and in university I loved books, and I eventually got a degree in English. And then after sort of fooling around and doing lots of waitering jobs, when I was 27 was the first time I got a job in publishing. But I got a great job. And I was a book rep. I sold books to bookstores, and then eventually that role grew, and I ended up selling just some beautiful books. The English Patient, which became a movie in 1980 and won the Oscar. And I don't know if you know The Handmaid's Tale. It's a series. For sure. It's very famous. That was a book I sold, Margaret Atwood's book. It made me a lot of money. I love that book.
Yeah, it was broadcast, I think, in Cambridge, right?
Yes.
Part of them, right?
Yes, absolutely. And but you have to remember that was a long time ago, 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Before the TV show, for sure. It was
because it was a book, right? Yeah. And so having that, and so that was my career. It was a very nice career. Then my company was bought by a big multinational, and they spun out most of us, including me. And so after struggling a little bit, then we fell into the role with Arno saying, I wanted to start this company and let's do it. So because I had a little bit of money from a settlement, and so we did.
But you never worked with logistics before.
I had never even heard of freight forwarding till I owned a company.
It's a challenge for sure.
Yeah, very challenging. And poor Arno was, who had already been doing it for 10 years, was always constantly saying to me, "Oh, can you do this? Can you, order a tailgate? And I'm thinking, what's a tailgate? And can you order this? But of course, you fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to learn every day and learn how to do things. But I also learned we have to hire some people who know what they're doing, because I don't. And but it took many years. It took about 5 or 6 years before we even started making money. And we did have a little pot of money that we could draw on, but it was tough, and you worry because you have a mortgage on your house for it, and what if it doesn't work? Because there's nothing to fall back on. If you start your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't get unemployment insurance if it doesn't go right. You get nothing. And so you really have a big gamble. And but in the end, we started Mellowhawk Logistics. And in that, it's been 22 years now that we've had that business, and we've grown. We have 20 staff here in Toronto. We have staff in Miami and staff in LA. And we work with many agents around the world and some great agents in Brazil. And I know this is focused on Brazil, so let's talk about that. But in the process, we have had an opportunity to connect with different organizations. And we got to be registered with the Canadian consulate in Sao Paulo. And then that got me some introductions to different chambers of commerce. And so currently I am the co-chair of the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce here in Canada. And I've been there I've been in the chamber for 10 or 11 years, but I've been co-chair for 6 years. And with Dan Rasica, who is another lovely guy. And what we do is we try to develop trade between Canada and Brazil, try to empower businesses, both Brazilian businesses coming here and Canadian businesses going there, and anybody else who wants to do business. And of course, with Mellowhawk Logistics, we want to move their cargo if there is cargo. And although these days it's all tech, and so we're not moving anything because it's ideas, but it's been very interesting, fascinating to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm impressed a little because you both have created this amazing company, but you also on the chamber, right? From the Arnold side, he's also on the consider, right?
Yes.
Excuse me. You're also try to give him back to the community, right? So you receive it from. This is amazing.
Well, it's really satisfying. It's really gratifying. The other thing, though, I think we both like to talk. And we have learned to, well, it's a funny thing. On Friday nights, we don't talk because we work together and we live together. And of course, you end up having that situation. How was your week? It sucked and it's all your fault. So I'm trying not to do that. So we try not to talk on Friday nights. But what happens on Friday nights? We both have meetings that we go to. And so the Consid has the happy hour once a month. There's different meetings there. I go to different meetings and that I'm a part of. And so I actually sit on 6 boards and for different kinds of organizations, and he I think has 3 boards and then participates in another 3 organizations as well. And we have a lot to offer. We have the ability to do it, and we're not ashamed of not trying it. There's lots of people. It's funny. We've had good and bad reaction, to be honest with you. We've had lots of wonderful reaction. There's some great people out there, smart people, and I want to encourage those people to do things too. But we've had other people too who have, attacked us for our volunteerism. So you have to balance. One of those things I always say about Brazilians is they all have opinions, and and some of them are very valuable and important, and other ones you have to say, okay, grain of salt.